Ready or not, here we go. Okay, back in the 80s, it was Captain Kirk and his crew on the Starcraft Enterprise, taking us on an adventure exploring the space. Today, you and me are going to explore the data. This is IBM Watson, one of the most interesting projects, to my opinion, in the big data arena. This supercomputer has all the data records from the US citizens, and it actually helps people the doctors to do a better diagnostic for people. This is what happens when you guys are now tweeting and sending everyone. I see a wonderful pitch at Ignite now. And this is what happens at the rest of the world is also doing what you're doing now. This is causing one of the world's biggest challenge, which we call big data. Big data is usually a term which reflects a huge amount of data that cannot be dealt in the way that we dealt data until today. Gartner has put a science on big data and has a three characteristic. Volume, the amount of data. How much data do we have? Velocity, how fast is this data coming toward us? And eventually, the variety, how many different things coming up. Structured data is basically one of the most easiest data to handle. We know what's coming up, we know how it is structured, we know what to expect. It also has its problems in terms of volume. When we have too big volume, this is big enough. Unstructured data, on the other hand, is basically a data which we all create all the time, every day. The tweets, text messages, images, videos, and so on and so forth. Data that we can't really predict and see what's coming up. Data in rest is basically the most common thing that we usually have. We have data stored also already on a media, which is digital, disks, whatever data, and we do batch processing on top of it, and then we can do it. This, on the other hand, is coming toward us. This is your tweets. When you tweet something, Twitter has to react. At someone, we have to know that we have to react and dispatch this data in advance to do fraud or something else. This is what we do. This is the landscape of the big data. I assume that you're all confused with the words. You don't have to know them. But all of them are bringing new ideas and new architectures in this world. This is big chaos. We have the traditional guys, which you probably know most of the names here. They attack basically the structured data, which has been the only data that we were able to actually analyze through the years. On the other hand, these are the new trends. You probably know the Hadoop thing, which is one of the most common practices to do unstructured data. We have the MongoDB, also a NoSQL trend. We have Redis, which is an in-memory database, and we have Scream, my company, which is doing database on CPU, on GPU. Check out this cool image. I found it on the web, which is very, very cool. And actually, what we do with this big data, what do we gain from that? This is what most interesting for me. For instance, we can take cyber attacks. Floods of IP traffic going on around. And as we speak, there are thousands of cyber attacks on US citizens and US government things and everything. Fraud. When you swipe your card, you want to make sure that when you swipe this card is going directly to the bank or to where it should be. Cool guy, right? E-commerce. E-commerce is one of the most coolest thing around the world, which is growing exponentially. When you go online and you log in, the e-commerce website would like to do the best thing for you. He would like to put the best ad, the best product which suits you. So he has to take all the huge data that is around you on data, and it goes in. Algo trading. Most of the trading today in the world, some say 80%, some even 90% of the trading is actually done by robots which are fed with big data. Route optimization. All this huge data that we talked about needs to be routed through the world on the best way that can be handled. Healthcare. as one of the biggest challenges of big data. We talked about Watson, and there are different other projects that are trying to make the world a better place, and genome research and all the things that are getting our medicine forward. I want to finish this, and one of the famous things and one of the most popular things, take this and go with it. And God we trust, all rest must bring data. Thank you very much. I'm Maury.